YouTubers. It's nice and early on Sunday morning and I'm about to go out for my run. However, before I go out for my run, I want to talk to you about boredom. Yes, that's right. I want to talk about boredom. So, a lot of people told me kind of, before I started running, man, you're going to be bored. You're going to be running for like a couple hours on your long run. Why would you do that to yourself? It's like so boring. I just kind of dismissed it and I was like, okay, well, that's just their opinion. It really doesn't matter. I don't care. They're not runners. Meanwhile, I've only been running for I don't know, a couple of months. And I really didn't know what a long run was at the time, and I didn't really want to. I mean, I knew it was a long run would be a longer distance, but I mean, I hadn't even completed a 10-kilometer run then. So as the time went on, then my training began. It was wow, this is a long run. And then I remembered people saying, oh, how could you do it? It's going to be boring. And I found creative ways to make it fun because, I didn't want to burn out. However, I did burn out. But I burned out, but it wasn't because I was doing a long run. It was because I was doing these, every run was this high intensity training. It's how fast can I go today? How fast can I go today? I need to be faster than I was yesterday. And I just it was a perpetual cycle. I just wanted to keep going and that's what I did. And I didn't do myself any favors because eventually I got a couple injuries. I did burn out and then I faded. Man, that sucked. And then it was 3 years in the wild of I was looking at Strava and I think, one year I did 500 kilometers. The next year was 800 and some odd kilometers. I was wow, how did I let that happen? All that fitness I had built up and everything else just kind of went poof, gone. And so here I was last night going, that was pretty sad, that happened. And so boredom kicked in. So this morning I was getting ready to leave the house. Man, I got the best sleep last night, which makes a massive difference. And the other crazy thing is we have cats. Now, these cats want to be fed. And they're, you close the door and they claw at the door. If you let them come in the room, they just walk all over you and purr, 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 meow, meow, meow. It's holy smokes, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't want, my wife to wake up. So I need to get out fast, feed the animals, and then go out and do my thing. So while I was kind of doing all of that, I thought, how am I going to keep things fresh? How am I going to keep things so they don't get boring? Because I'm out just going out for a long run. And some of the things that I do that make a difference is, one, yeah, I'm a creature of habit and I tend to run the same 10 kilometers, at least part of my long run. Number two, so number one is I'm a creature of habit. That's just what I am. But I'm trying to be different on some of my runs. It's just I've been trying to avoid as many hills as possible during this particular training cycle that I'm doing. However, can't do it forever. My town isn't big enough. I can run all the streets. I could do an ultra, running every single street in my town. It'll be a 55K. However, I'm trying to mix it up. I've got a couple of I got some trails that are in my area I got some woods that's in my area, and I've got, you know, country back roads and all that kind of fun jazz. So I try to keep things interesting by changing my route. Make it fun, pick something different. Instead of going right all the time, why not go left? Something to be said about that. Number 3 is I tend to listen to different podcasts, right? Like, you know, I'll listen to Trail Runner Nation. If Sean, my co-host, has done an episode of Trail Tales kind of on his own, I'll listen to that. So podcasts are really being good. Music has been good, but I don't really listen to music very often because I think it always messes up my stride and I end up going faster than I want to go. So yeah, I tend to stay away from that. I'm lazy today. So yeah, so I'll incorporate that, go different paths. And the other one is, you know, run with people. Like if you're going to be doing like a 30-kilometer run, try to get out there and run with somebody else that's kind of at your fitness level. I mean, it really does help, just to kind of keep you accountable and just to make things fun. And then I guess the last one, which would be number 4 or 5, I kind of lost track now, would be, I'm formulating it in my head as I speak because this is always from the heart. Make it fun by giving yourself little challenges when you're out running. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're running down the stretch of the road, you know, see how steady I can keep my pace, or see how steady I can keep my heart rate, right? Just kind of make that fun. Or if you're doing like a little bit of a faster, like if you're doing fartlek runs, where you speed up and then slow down and speed up and slow down. If you're doing that, make it fun. Make it so when you go home, you can look at it on Strava or whatever it is that you use to track your run. Make it so it's fun, so you can see, oh my gosh, look, I went up and down this one particular, you know, road or trail or whatever, and I did it like 6 or 7 times, and holy crow, I got faster every single time, or I was steady every single time, or whatever it is, right? So just make it fun, make it simple. Don't try to overcomplicate things. That's my take. So, get out of the boredom, go out and do your thing. And so later today, after my run obviously, I'm gonna come back, not like out here, but I will come back home and I will go over the training that I've been doing over the last 5 months or 4.5 months, or I think it's 4 months, well, going on 5 months. And I will show you what I've been doing, and I'll show you the results that have come out of it, which is, in my opinion, just staggeringly good. So anyways, that's my take for today on boredom. Keep it fun, keep it simple, don't overcomplicate things, and go out and make some friends and run on a different run that you haven't done before. Anyways, I'm gonna see you after I finish doing what I'm doing. Later. So I went out, did my run, it was awesome. I think I got about close to 18 kilometers in for today, 2-hour run, which was quite nice. So I promised you I would talk to you about what I've been doing for my training, the distances I've been doing, the times, and all that kind of stuff. So I will show you. I'm going to show you on my computer, so bear with me. We're going to transition into that, and yeah, if you have any comments, just type them in and we will answer them. Or I should say, I will answer them. Okay, so here we go. And welcome back, everybody. So this is what we're going to talk about with regards to my training. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know about Phil Maffetone, he's a doctor. He's been doing this for about 40 years, clinical experience, scientific research, yada, yada, yada. Very, very cool. Now, he's not vegan, but I'm not interested in his philosophy on that type of thing. I'm interested in his MAF training, which is the Maximum Aerobic Function, building that engine, right? So when you're able to build that engine, the method really focuses on improving the aerobic system, the fat-burning engine responsible for fueling all a body's needs, okay? It burns more fat, you have a leaner body, increased overall energy and brain function, which is pretty darn cool. So you have greater endurance, greater strength, speed, physical fitness, injury and disease prevention, and there's many other benefits they go into, but that's essentially what it is. Now, his system and how he's designed it, he's come up with this mathematical formula. It's very, very simple. You take 180 minus your age, and that is your maximum heart rate. You shouldn't go above that. Okay, for every run that you do, this, like when you're training, that's what you do. Now, he has some other aspects where you can add an additional 10 beats or minus, 5 beats or 10 beats or whatever it is, depending if you're sick or if you're recovering from an injury. But I added 5 beats because I've been running for the last number of years. Now, it may have not been consistent, and maybe I shouldn't have done it, but I did anyways, and I'm seeing amazing, benefits of it. But that's essentially what you do. So when I started this, I really needed to kind of kickstart my body because I didn't want to be injured, and I wanted to go longer distances. To be quite honest, I was a little scared to be able to push, to go to those extra distances, to be quite honest. Okay. So I thought I'd approach this, and that's what I did. Now, we'll look at a few things here. One is we'll look at, what are we going to look at first? Okay, we'll look at my MAF test. So he basically wants you to do this test to see where you're at. So I am a creature of habit, so I go running for 10 kilometers. So I did. So I did that 10-kilometer run. I didn't go above my maximum heart rate of 138. And if I started to get close, I'd slow it down. And if that meant walking, well, that's what I had to do, because that's where my aerobic function, that's where my engine was. And it was pretty sad to see that. However, that's what I did. And so I did this 10-kilometer run, and you're supposed to run, you're supposed to do like a 15-minute warm-up and then do your run. I kind of got screwed up and I kind of forgot it. And anyways, I just incorporated it into my run. So my first 2 kilometers were like my warm-up, and then after that was essentially my run. And he says that because you're able to get your heart rate to kind of normalize it, so it's not jumping all over the place. Anyways, I didn't. So what I decided to do was take my next 3 kilometers. So 1 and 2 were my warm-up, 3, 4, and 5 where I would capture the results, and then I would use that and I would track that. Now, the route that I was on, there's also elevation gain. You're supposed to do this on a track or whatever. Well, just it didn't happen, and I did the best I could. And so every time I do my test, I do the test on the same 10 kilometers, and I take 3, 4, and 5 kilometers, and that's my results. So when I started September, this is where I was at: 8 minutes, 35 seconds, 8 minutes, 29 seconds, and 8 minutes, 44 seconds. And the reason why it jumbles up a little bit there is because there's elevation gain. Typically what you should see is a number, and then the next kilometer should be lower, and the next kilometer should be lower again. Like, you should get slower as you go. So mine, it doesn't really do that. It kind of jumps all over the place a little bit, only because of the terrain. So if I'm doing the same, I got to keep something the same. So I kept the route the same. I can't do anything with the weather, but I can keep my heart rate the same. So at least I've got, one out of the, or two out of the three or two out of the four the same. So next month I did the exact same. So what I did, so that was the run I did. And then for the remainder of the month, I went out and ran 3 days a week, and I ran 10-kilometer runs. That's what I did, but I didn't go above my maximum heart rate of 138. So my results came back the next month, 7 minutes, 33 seconds, 7:38, and then 8:19. Next month was 7:23, 7:32, 7:48. Then the next month, 6:47, 6:29, 6:26. And then in January, 6:42, 6:15, 6:25. So what's really crazy is it works. Running slow to get fast actually works. So I plotted this out so you can kind of see. Whoops, I'm all over the place, sorry. So that's what my MAF looks like. So for the last 5 months, that's my results, right? So I got faster each month. I got faster and faster and faster. I was running in like I said, the 835 range. Now I'm running in the 635 range because I just did my MAF test yesterday. So I'm pretty excited with where things are at. Now I also mapped out on a weekly basis where things are at. So the green line at the top, that's my average pace for the week. The blue is the average time that I was running, and the red is my average heart rate. And then at the bottom, you can see how many kilometers I had done on each column. And then I put down MAF training. If I had a half marathon, well, that's where the half marathon, I labeled it. 50-kilometer race I did, right? I labeled it. For some reason, I decided to do speed work because I didn't want to run slow. So that kind of messed things up. But then, since like week 11, I've really been dialed it in. I actually did a fast on week 11 when I ran 2 hours every day, and I hadn't eaten anything, just running at my aerobic base. And what's really cool is you burn fat as your energy source. So I'm not reaching for goos or gels or any of that. I literally have a cup of water when I go running, 1 cup. And then I'm running for 2 hours. Come home, I'm not even hungry because all I'm doing is I'm not depleting my glycogen, right? I'm not having a carb load, right? Which is super cool. I'm really grateful. I'm very happy with how this is working. So the reason why I did a fast and I started doing 2-hour runs is I just felt like I was stagnant. Like I just felt like I was inconsistent. I just needed something to kick me in the ass to get going because I got this scary damn goal of running 100 kilometers and I needed to get things going. So I started to up everything. And as soon as I started to up everything, I started to see things dramatically start to change. So, I'm very grateful and very happy. So I've tracked all that. Like I said, I'm tracking my sleep, how many hours, the average sleep that I'm getting, what my weight is when I first started. Actually, that 211 is actually a little higher. It's closer to 215, which was crazy. I couldn't believe I got back up to that crazy weight. I even mapped out the temperature, the average temperature for that week as well. And then my average pace and, my average heart rate, all that kind of stuff, right? I just kind of put that into play. And then every time I went out for a run, I'd put it in this chart, right? Week 1, and then every single day I put it all in. And then I also started to track my 5 kilometer, like my first 5 kilometers versus my last 10 kilometers. So just to kind of see how I was doing. And as you can see, I tracked a lot. All this is, again, data on Strava. It all exists. Keeping things, in line. And then I even had this other chart, right? So I had my half and then my 50 kilometer. But look at that, eh? Like it's just, it blows my mind. It's just beautiful just to see that on paper. So what's my takeaway? run slow, figure out what your maximum heart rate is, run at or below that, right? When you go for your runs, you don't need to run at 138 every single run. Like I've run at 132, 133, 132, right? And then 130. I mean, as long as it's kind of in that range, but very rarely, like I don't think I ever had like an average heart rate other than my 50 kilometer and my half and my speed work that I did for some stupid reason, where my heart rate went like, above 140. Very cool. I'm really happy. I'm more fat adapted than I ever, so I'm burning fat as my energy source. I'm not craving or binging on all these things, on the sugars. I got rid of sugar from my diet. I eat a lot of avocados, nuts, and seeds. A lot of the good fats, right? Anyways, I'm rambling now. I'm going to end it here. I just wanted to share that with all you because I believe that it works amazing. And I'm looking at, like, you can't deny, like, these are the results, right? I love what it's doing. I'm down to like 193 now, which I'm super happy about. So I'm getting very close to race weight. And, so this training isn't meant to be done the whole entire time. You do this training until you hit like a plateau. So I don't know where that plateau is going to hit. But once you hit that plateau, then you start to incorporate some speed work, some hill work, some fartlicks, things like that. But you got to keep your easy runs. Like 80% of your runs are easy. And when they're easy, they're at the maximum heart rate of 138 for me. That's what it is, right? So we'll see where it goes. We're going to see where a plateau is at, and we'll see what happens from that. But anyways, this is what I've been doing for the last 5 months. And I'm super happy. It works. It's, guys, it's amazing. So anyways, that's it. I'm going to go eat because I haven't eaten yet. But I am hydrating. I got some water and all is good. So anyways, hope all is well, everyone. And we will see you on the next video. Bye for now. See ya.